Hello and welcome to another video by Debbie Loves to Colour. In today's video I'm going to be doing the skin tutorial on how I do my skin colour. If you've been checking on my other videos that I've been putting to YouTube, I did do a Harry Potter colouring book. I've done a review on it, and I did do a live stream of me colouring in that book, and I have posted the picture on some of my social media groups, in my colouring groups, and I've had quite a lot of messages asking how I did the skin tone on Harry in that particular picture. And I have posted on YouTube that I was going to be doing a skin tutorial, and I asked if you wanted it to be a live video or in a video format, and I've had quite a few comments saying that they prefer it in the video format, so you can just watch it later on rather than a live video. So that's what we're doing today. So the picture what I've got is I've just downloaded it off Estee UK, and I will post the link to where I got it from in the description box below. This particular image is, I believe the artist is Marilou Badek. I do apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And I actually bought 6 of them for, I think it were around £10 for 6 images. But with these images you can actually get the single PDF download, so if you just want the one picture then you can download that, and I think the one picture were around just under £4 I believe, so it was £3 odd. And the picture what I've chose is Mother of Little Dragon, I believe it's called, and it's kind of in a grayscale format, so I thought I'd choose this picture because I thought it'd be the easiest one to follow. And the colours what I've chose today is there's quite a lot of skin tones about. You can use a lot of different colours in your skin tones. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible so I can show you guys on the tutorial, and the colours that I have picked, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be using all of them, but the colours what I'm using are Prismacolor Premier pencils. I find them easiest to blend with, so it's going to be light peach, and then we're going to be using peach, and I'm keeping them in order from light to dark. Then we're going to be using nectar, and then henna. They're the main colours what we're going to be using. Now later on I'm going to be adding some cream. I've got my white pencil in case I need to use it for, sometimes I use my white pencil for blending, and I've got the Grade Lavender, and I don't know if I'm going to be using that pencil. I will show you later on if I do and why I use that pencil. So I'm just going to zoom you guys in so you can see better on this picture, because we are going to be focusing on this skin area. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I have got different lighting, so I'm hoping this is a lot better for you. I've had trouble finding time to film this video. It was pouring it down with rain yesterday. We've had really bad lighting. I've been really busy over the weekend as well, so I've gone and looked for some brighter lighting, and this is the brightest bulb that I could find, so hopefully that's an improvement. So on with the tutorial. What I'm going to be doing is starting with my light peach. Now when it comes to skin tone, it's a bit more complicated. It's not easy to do skin tone, but I'm going to try to make it as easy as I can to follow. So with this grayscale picture we have got some dark areas already put in. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add shade as well to where I think that shadow would be on the face. So when you come across your picture you need to figure out where a face will be in shadow and where it's going to be in light. So we'll take the light peach and very, very lightly layers, so we're hardly putting any pressure on the paper whatsoever. We need to build up our layers and go over it again. This is why we don't put too much pressure on. And plus you could end up with too much of a dark colour at the end if you do go on with more of a pressure on your pencil. So I'm just going to go in where I think is the darkest areas, and I'm only putting slight pressure on, and it's hardly going to show up on this page at the minute, so you're probably not even going to be seeing it on camera. Also, I'm hoping this paper's going to work well as well, because I haven't got a clue what paper it is. I've had some paper and I've got them all mixed up, so hopefully it'll work well with this paper. So all as I'm doing is putting this light peach down in just some areas where I think it would be darker. And like I say, you can hardly see this colour at all at the minute. So just around the edge of the face, we're going to fetch it. And just around the chin. And we're going to put some just underneath the lip as well, because I think that area, obviously there's already some grayscale there. And just here underneath the nose as well. So a little light layer there. And then where the eye is just above on that eyelid, just going to put a layer there, and we're just going to lightly fetch it down the side of the nose line. So I'm just following the picture at this minute. And then we've got little tiny bits shaded in here, so I think we will put some around here on a nose. I think grayscale, if you're not used to doing skin, is a really good place to start, because you have got some of the shadow already filled in on the page for you. And she's just got a little bit of dark area around here at the side of the nose. So now I think also I'm gonna just lightly put some outside of this side of the nose. So we can hardly see any colour at the minute, so you're probably not even seeing much of that on camera, but you will see it. And then again, we're just going to come from around this eye and down the side of the face. Really light pressure on that pencil. And then I'm going to slightly, I hope I'm not getting shadow too much, I'm going to slightly come underneath her eyelid and fetch that peach out just all the way under her eye, because I think that would be shadowed as well. And here as well on this eye, we've got some grayscale already put in there. And then again, we're just going to fetch some up towards the top eyelid there. So I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. I do apologise if I'm shadowing the picture. And then we're going to go underneath this hairline here, really lightly. And just fetch it down towards the top of her eyebrow. And again, we're just doing it really light, just getting that layer of colour down. And then I'm going to fetch it slightly up, just up to where her hair is parting. So we're just going to the parting in the middle. And then we're just going to fetch some up at the side of this eyebrow from a eyelid, just here. Then we've got dark areas inside inside her earlobe. Well, it's going inside her ear, so we're just going to put some peach over that. Then we're coming onto the neck, and we've got our grayscale put in for us. So we're just going to fetch this cut peach all the way down at the side of the hairline. And we're going to carry on with that. And again, with a little bit of pressure, you're not really seeing much of the colour on the paper. So we're just filling in them grayscale areas. We've got a little bit of grayscale that's coming down here, so we're going to line that. And then where we've got the tail of the dragon as well, would also be in shadow. And then just at the bottom here. And then again, just at this, going up, following the outer edge of where her hair meets the skin. And then a grayscale's coming down just underneath the chin. Alright, let's have a look what you guys can see. So you're probably not going to see that in the camera. You're hardly seeing any colour at the minute, which is... I can see it, but it's probably not going to show up on camera, which is fine, as long as you can see where I'm going over the lines. Some of this peach also here, we're going to fetch out, because it's going to define a cheek, so we're just going to fetch it out. There is some slight grayscale there. I'm just going to fetch that. Right. So what we do now is we go to our next colour, which is the peach. And then we're going to start from where we've put the first layer down, and then we're going to slightly just come over the peach so it goes on to the white page, but not too far out. So we're going to start where we've put all our shadows, and again the same as what we did before, we want really light layers. Don't worry about blending anything at this point, the blending comes in later. So by adding the peach, we should start to see our colour, what we're putting down on the page, a little bit more. And again, I do apologise if I'm putting you guys in shadow when I'm just colouring in this bit. I have got a light over here which is shining on my page, and I'm hoping that it's making the video a lot better, because if not, I don't want to be having to film it all over again. So again, we're going to fetch some of this darkest peach down here, because this is where we have got the grayscale. So don't worry about any blending just yet. And I'm just going over all this grayscaled area. And we're just blending it out over the peach into the white a little bit. and I'm hardly putting a lot of pressure on the paper. Again, here, we're just going to put some underneath where her chin is, at the side of her, underneath her nose there, and then we're just going to put some of this colour down here where the grayscale is. And then we've got at the top of her eyelid, and then we've got the shadow underneath, just at the top of her nose, underneath her eyelid. And again, very lightly, we're just going over that light peach what we've put down to the corner of the eye, and then we're going to fetch it down. So we should be seeing some colour at this point. I'm hoping you can see that on the camera. It's just my partner talking to me on about the light, saying it's too bright. Right, so we've got her ear, so we're just gonna... So we've got her ear, and we're just gonna be going over the dark areas, what's already in the grayscale. And I'm just going to slightly put some here. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same with the neck. Just where we've put that grayscale, well, where the grayscale is down, sorry. Yeah, grayscales pictures are definitely good to practice skin tone on as well, because like I said, you've got the actual shading in the picture, so if you're not sure where you want to put the dark areas, it is a really good place to start off with. So I'm slightly going to fetch it all the way up her neck, just where her hair touches her neck. And we're not blending at this point, we're just slightly layering. It is really important with the pressure of the pencil when you're doing skin, because we need to build up them layers. I don't think there's any other easier way of doing skin if you want it to have the look what we're after. So I'm just going to check what you can see, because I'm a bit worried that I'm blocking this lighting, or it might be just from my point of view. Right, so we can slightly see this colour better now. So what I'm going to do is we're going on to the nectar now, and I'm sorry about the noise in the background, my partner's just gone out. So we're starting with the nectar, and again we're doing the same. We're coming from the, well, we are coming from over the peach and the light peach what we've put in, and we're slightly going to go over, so we're just going over the peach onto the light, so where the paper's white we'll be going, but we're not going to go too far out just yet. So we're going to take this nectar and very lightly, definitely in a light layer, because we're going on a darker colour, and if you put too much down you're going to get too much colour down, and then we're not going to be able to blend it back out. So again, very lightly. So when we start to put the nectar down, don't worry if it's looking all unblended. It doesn't matter, because we're going to blend on the way back from dark to light. So what I do is I layer my layers from light to dark, and then I start to blend everything when I'm coming back down them layers, so over the layers, sorry. So we'll start off light to dark, and then we'll go back over it from dark to light, and that's when I start to blend everything. And sometimes you have to add a few layers until you get the look what you're after, and it's basically on its way to do it really with skin. I mean, you could risk doing it from dark straight to light, but I personally like my skin I like to know that it's going to come out looking okay and how I want it. And if we go straight on with the pressure, then we can't really fix it. We can't add too many layers after that. So if you can't add any more layers on, and we've just basically put the pressure down really hard, it's how you end up ruining the skin tone, and you've ruined your picture because you can't fix it afterwards. So here we've got all our dark area. We've got the dark grey scale in here. So we're just going to start to put this nectar down. And again, and I'm kind of doing it front side at pencil as well, rather than the point straight on. Again, like I said, it's going to look unblended at this point. So we're going to put some underneath this chin. But yeah, there's a lot of different skin colours that you can choose. I have tried to make it quite simple, but for this particular picture I thought that we would add the henna into the colours. If you wanted it really simple and lighter, you could just stop at the nectar. You don't have to add any of the henna into the picture, and you'd get a light skin tone. So again, I'm just slightly going over. Then we're going to go onto the neck. And again, all that I'm doing is going over the colours I've already put down and just smoothing the colour out towards the white area. Not too far into the middle of the page. And at the minute it's looking just like unblended, but that's fine at this time. Sorry. Right, so I've got my layer of nectar down. Now I'm just going to come in with the henna, and it is a very darker colour. So again, I know I keep saying this, but it is important. Just make sure you go in really light with this pressure, because you definitely don't want it to come out too reddish looking. So again, just the same thing what we've been doing over all the colours. And coming slightly out to the white. I don't know if you can see that, but it is a lot darker colour. So I'm just fetching it a little bit further out. Very lightly layers as well. Plus so we can blend it all and get rid of any harsh lines. Where the darkest grey scale is, you can put a little tiny bit more pressure on. It'll not hurt because it is the darkest areas of the picture. But just bear in mind, so we are going to be putting layers on top of this because we're going to be going back from dark to light. And I'm just going to be putting some of this around her ear. Her ear's in the middle of the ears, pretty much all dark anyway. And then again, from where the top eyelid is, just where we've put that dark colour, we're just going to go around everything. And then just at the corner here, just where her nose is and her eye. So with the layering, it is a bit tedious. It does take time as well. So I'm just coming down all the areas we've been over. I don't know if you can hear that on video, but I seem to have some kids that are not mine screaming outside, so I don't know what they're doing. So I do apologise if that actually shows up on camera, but you luckily you might not be able to hear it. I'm just going to fetch some of this henna underneath this line as well. Right, so we've got our henna down. Right, so here, I tend to, you can if you want, because we've got this like a reddish tone. I don't know if you can see that, but we've got a kind of a reddish tone. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of grey lavender over where we've put all the henna. You don't have to do this, but I do. It just gives the colour a more deeper colour, and it does tone the red down a little bit. I think I got this trick actually. This is not my trick, it's actually I think I started doing this when I watched Colour with Claire's videos. A lot of people do use purple anyway to tone down. I mean, you can actually put lavender or I think I used Parma like a Parma, were it Parma Violet? I think I used last time. Or Parma, anyway, Parma Violet or something like that. I'll have to check what it was that I used to do a purple into my colour, but I'm not doing this with this one because I don't want it to be as dark. So just where the lines are, I'm just going to slightly go over it with this grade lavender, and I'm just putting a little bit more pressure on, but not too much, so because we want to be able to go back over with some more layers. And with this, I'm just going over the colours what I've put down. I'm not fetching the lavender into the grade lavender into the white. I'm sure a lot of people use this colour to do this way. It's not my personal thing. I haven't made it up or anything like that. It's not something that I just do. So I just want to let you know that. Also with this, it kind of start to smooth out as well, the colour, what we've put down. Not too much though. We don't need a lot of it because at the minute it's not overly that red, not overly that dark. It will blend out once we start going back over our colours. I'm just gonna take this light peach and just go over this area underneath where her hair is at the minute. Right, so we've got our colours down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go from the second darkest. We've just put the grade lavender down. It just tones that down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my nectar now. So let me find my nectar. So now what we're going to do is towards the edges we're going to put a little bit more pressure down, but then we're going to go really lightly as we're blending it outwards, because we are going to be fetching all our colours out. So just towards them edges is where we're going to be putting most pressure. And again, I'm not going full pressure on the pencil, I'm just putting a little bit more pressure on. And we're just going over everything that we've done. Deepening these edges up. I'm just going to put a bit of this underneath her hairline at the top here. So these darker lines towards the edge of the line work, the artwork, we can start to smooth it out. I'm going with a little bit more pressure where the grayscale is in the picture as well, just to get that grayscale covered. So we've got a really deeper look. You can start to see, again, it's not blended out yet, so don't worry about that. And then we're going to come in with our peach. So what we're going to do is we're coming over from all the colour, what we've put down, and very, very lightly go into the white. So we're tapering off as we're going into the light. So as we're going into the white area, sorry. So we're coming over with this peach and then very lightly going over into the white area where we're, you know, so we're getting rid of any lines from the darker colours what we've put down, and then we've got like a light colour of this peach going into the white area. You'll see what I'm doing. Also with this colour, we can start to blend over everything. So we're going to start to smooth everything out and just go over any lines, like an harsh line. So we're blending it out and then we're smoothing off, coming into the white area with a really light pressure, so we can get our next colour down, which is the lightest peach. And again, just lightly coming over, smoothing it out. And we're going to go over all this area where the grayscale is. And just do the same thing, just fetch it out. And this is the reason that we do really light layers, just so we can get this extra layers on top of each other, so we can get all this colour down and then start to smooth it out. So don't worry if it's still looking a bit too dark at this moment. Just going to fetch some of that round here. And I think I've missed some of this chin with the henna. So I'm just going to go back over all the colours. I'm just going to add a little bit of grey lavender. This is just because I've just missed this area out. And then I'm going to go back over with the nectar. And the peach. And again, just smooth it out. And again, you can just start to smooth and blend as well with this colour. Not too, I'm just putting a little bit of a pressure on because we are going to be using the light peach as well, and we can do most of our blending with that. So just going over everything. And just fetching that peach out towards the white with a softer pressure so we can fetch that light peach in. And again, I'm just trying to do this as quick as possible for this video. You can take a lot more time doing it. Obviously, you can pause this video and take a lot more time. I'm just going to smooth this area out a bit. So really, it's just going back over until you get the proper colour that you're after. If it's still too more tone for you, you could add a little bit more of the, if it's too reddish, sorry, you could add a little bit more of the grade lavender again. But I'm just going to see how it looks first before I do anything. So what I'm going to do now is come out with the peach. So it's the lightest peach. And this is where we're going to start to blend everything over. So you can use a harder pressure when we're going over all the colours. And again, fetching it lightly into the highlight of the face. So we should start to get a bit of a different colour going on here. So we'll start here, and again we're fetching the colour out. You might need to go down with a lot of a harder pressure to smooth some of the areas of the darker colours out. But all as I'm doing is I'm fetching it into the highlight. So we're going to kind of leave some of a forehead blank. So hopefully you can see this. So from here, we're just going over everything and fetching some of this light peach into the highlight. And again, I'm putting a little bit more pressure towards the edges, just where I'm wanting to blend this skin colour out. So I'm going to start to fill the page in with the light peach. So it's all where we want our highlight on the face. So a lot of this has got to come in with the peach. I do want a highlight, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the highlight. So again, where the grayscale is and where we're going over the dark areas, I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on the paper. And then into the white areas, I'm going a lot softer, but I've still got quite a bit of pressure. So we're just slackening on that pressure of the pencil. And then when we need to blend, that's where we're putting more pressure on. And I'm hoping I'm making complete sense for you. Right, this area, we're going to blend this peach in everything. So as you see, the peach is filling everything out, and as we're coming over to the highlight, we are steadying off on that pressure. And the ear, we're just going to fill all this in with this peach. And I'm going to darken some of this ear up as well, but for now we'll just leave that like that and concentrate on smoothing everything out. So we really are going in with an harder pressure and putting quite a lot of pressure on towards the edges of the face and where we've gone over with them darker colours. I don't know if, I'm hoping you can see that, but we're getting, it is smoothing everything out. And again, here we need to blend everything out. So we're going with a darker pressure, we're going with a heavy pressure where the darkest colour is, and then we're just gonna lightly smooth this out. So I'll just smooth some of this peach outwards, just under where her lips would be. And we're going to leave a little highlight in middle of the chin. But we're not going to be leaving that white. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. And again, just the same over everywhere I've put the darker colours down. I'm really blending in with this light peach. It's toning the whole look of the colour down at the minute. And then I'm just going over into the white highlight, but not totally covering it. So just underneath the eye, we're going to do the same. And just underneath where her nose is. So it's just a matter of blending at the minute. I'm just going to lightly come down a bit more with that peach. So again, we've got this little bit of highlight. So again with skin, it's looking where you're wanting to fill the area up. So we've got all our colours down by layering them from light to dark on the edges of the face, and then we've come back from dark to light, and this is where we've started to blend. So when you get to your light peach, we're fetching the light peach further out where we want it on the face, and you've got to think where you want a highlight of a face to be. And this is the easiest way that I can explain it. So it's just imagining where you want a highlight of her face. So if she had some kind of light hitting her face. And this is what we're doing. So the white bits, what we do leave, will change again when I add the other colour, what I'm going to add down. So just a bit over here where the cheek's coming out as well. I'm just going to go with a harder pressure on this light peach. And we're just going to fill all this cheek in. You might have to go over with this light peach a couple of times just to get the colours blended out what you have put down. It just takes some blending. Just making sure we've got the edges inside, you know, the edges to her outer face all blended. And then lighter with that peach. And depending on what paper you use as well, it's always good to use you know, a paper that you know you're going to get most layers out of. This is why I like using Prismacolor Premier pencils with these kind of with my skin, because they're just so soft and blendable. So again, we're going to start to do with what we've just done, and we're going to blend all this out. So I hope you can really see the difference between that and this. As you can see, it's all started to smooth out. So again, we're just going to go over everything and start to blend it, and then come towards the white of the page and fetch that peach further out. And if you need to, just go with a really hard pressure to get that blended. And again, we're just fetching this light peach out. So we're getting an highlight. But yeah, definitely why I layer it is because I go over it a lot to blend out. So I'm really working this paper, and I do go over it, and that's why I think skin's best to start off in really light layers. So we're just leaving a little bit of highlight here, and I'm going to try to blend over this darkest colour. Again, I'm just doing a rough example, so you can do it a lot more, take more time with it. You can always go in, if it allows you to deepen areas as well. If you want more colour, like for instance around a neck, you can always go back in with the nectar, henna, and then just blend it over with the peach and then light peach and so on, if you wanted to make it more darker. I am going to make her ear a bit more darker. And I'm just going to fill this total area in at the bottom. You can't really see much of it. So here where my nose is, I'm going to start to put some peach just up where her eyebrow is. I'm going to smooth this out. And again, go really light on the pressure just to get rid of any dark lines. So here we've got the nose, and we're going to start to put some of this peach and blend out where we've gone over this area. I'm going to start to fill it in. And again, just thinking where we want any highlights on the nose to be. So I'm wanting some just here, where end of the nose is. And if you wanted to deepen this bit, you could go in with the peach or the nectar, because we haven't put a lot of layers on this nose. We've had quite a lot of the paper what we haven't used in this area. And then once you've gone down with the peach, if you have got any room, I've got like a little bit of a darker line, but I don't think that's gonna go too much. It's whipped paper I'm using. Right, so if you have got any room to put any more in, which I don't think I have on my paper, but you can go over with the white to smooth, you know, just use it as a little bit of a blender and start to blend. Just give it that little bit more of a blend. So if there's any areas that you would like more blended out, just get your white pencil, and it's good for using to do that. And again, I'm just doing it really roughly. You can make yours a lot neater. Right, so with this little area here, I'm just going to go in with the peach, and I'm just going to slightly put some on, and as you can see, it's letting me put more of that layer down. Kind of want her ear to be pretty dark. It's most in shadow. And then we're just going to go with the light peach. Right, so what I do, once I've got the colours down, and as you can see I've got a bit of an highlight, I'm just going to fetch some of the lighter peach as well underneath the nostrils. And I'm only doing it really lightly at the minute. And again, just here, just at the top of the lip. So I'm just trying to think where I want my highlight to be. You might want your highlight of the face to be in a different area than what I've got, but you just look at the picture and just imagine where you think the light would be hitting a face. And again, you can always add a little bits of more darker colour in places what need darkening up a bit. So I'm just trying to smooth this area a bit out. As well, like I said, I'm not sure what paper I'm using because it all got mixed up, and I've just grabbed some as well. Right, so now I've got my highlight. The next step what I do is just go over with my cream, and this kind of fills all the white area up. It still gives it that highlight, and it just looks more of a realistic skin tone. I think it does. I personally love using cream. So all as I'm doing is going over all the highlight lightly at first, just so we can get some of this colour down. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's giving that highlight and it's making it look more of a really realistic skin tone. I just love how this cream works with this colour. So I'm just putting a little bit of a pressure down. I'm not going full whack with the cream. Where you go over the other colours what I've put down, the darker colours, then obviously put more pressure down. And I don't know if you can see that, but we're getting more of a realistic skin tone. And this the cream just tends to do that. It's really good. So again, just where we've left everything white underneath her eyes. So we're going to start fetching it on this side where we've left a little bit of highlight. And then the same again, we're just going to put more pressure on over the colours we've put down. and then just taper it off a bit. You don't have to, you can put a slight bit of pressure on. I'm actually going to put a bit more pressure on at the top because my paper's a bit more, it's not going down very well on this paper. But if you've got a really smooth paper, you don't need to put too much of a pressure on with the cream. So obviously I'm just trying to blend it out as much as I can, as much as what I'm going to be able to get now, because we have done a lot of layering and we've done a lot of blending, and obviously a paper's only going to take so much. And then we're just going to fill in the nose. So for instance, if you wanted to dark underneath her eyes up and you've got more room to add on to, if you can get more colour and deepen it up a bit, you could go in with Nectar, then your peach, and then blend it out a bit with your light peach. If your paper, and if you've got that little bit of tooth left, that you can do that way, I think it should be alright if you wanted to. I'm actually quite happy with that. So again, just doing the same, just fill everything in. So I'm just putting a bit of a harder pressure on here, just so it's just how my paper is, what I'm using. Like for earrings, for instance, I'm gonna go in with the not the henna, the Nectar. If I can find it. It's my peach. Nectar. Right, so I'm just gonna deepen this up a little bit. So it's letting me get some of that colour down. Just where that grayscale is, because it is darker where your grayscale is. And again, just really make sure that you're not putting a big amount of pressure on, because we don't want that line. So we're going to blend that line out with our next colour, which is the peach, and smooth over it. And then we're going to go with the light peach and really smooth it out. So then just finish off with our cream. So definitely, if you're following this and you've got any areas that you want to make darker, you can just go back in and go over with it. If you wanted to make this area darker, where his tail is coming across, definitely go make it darker. And like this area here, it'd probably be more darker as well. I'm actually just gonna go over that in the nectar, and then just put a little light peach. So I'm not really, as you can see, you're only going to get so much layers onto this paper. So I think that's it. So I'm just going to leave it here, because my paper, obviously what I'm using, you're only going to get so much. And I'm really picky when it comes to skin, and I could literally just go over it and over it. But I don't know if you can see that, but you should end up with a really nice skin tone. And like I say, if you have got areas that you need to blend out, just go over it, get your peach or your cream or your white, and just keep going back over it. As long as you've got as long as your paper's letting you go over it, you can go over it. But obviously we don't want to really burnish the page. Luckily, this is what I'm using, is really thick paper. It's kind of like a cardstock, so it's letting me go over it. So depending on what paper you've got, obviously. But yeah, I'm really picky when it comes to skin tone, and I can tend to go over it too much. But yeah, anyway, so without me rambling on, I hope you like it. So we have got like a light medium skin tone here, and I do love how the cream affects the whole look of the page. And I know there's a lot of layering and stuff, but I think it is the best way to do your skin tone. I really do think that if you just go with your dark colours to light, I think you could end up putting too much colour down, and you could end up, well, you could end up ruining your picture. So I think the best way to get your skin tone is definitely by light layers. I do hope that this tutorial has been helpful. I do apologise if I've made it too difficult. I've tried to keep it as basic as I can. There isn't really much that you can do with skin tone that is really basic. You do need to layer your colours. I have tried to use as less colours as possible. Like I say, you can miss the henna out, and you can just do your darkest colour nectar if you prefer. There is a lot of different skin tone colours out there that you can do and that you can practice on. But I thought this was quite the easiest colour to pick. It's light to medium, and you've got that nice definition of colour as well for something like this picture. So I hope it has been easy to follow. I do apologise if you found it a bit difficult. Like I say, there isn't an easy way to do skin, I don't think. I think it is a bit complex. You have to layer and you have to blend. So anyway, so that's how I do skin tone from a medium to light colour, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I'm thinking about doing the hair as well, and doing the rest of this picture as a colour along if you're interested. So whether I'm going to be doing that as a live video or videos, I don't know. So keep an eye out for that, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And like I said, I have tried to make it easy to follow as possible, but you do have to lay your colours down, and that's the best way. I do it from light to dark, and then I blend from dark to light and start blending out my colours so I get this even colour. So I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you later.